أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم Amen. As I'm welcoming you to this class, I also congratulate you for being successful on the first step to learning to read the Quran, which is the identification of letters. And inshallah, in this class, we'll look into the lesson 2 of your book, the master key to reading the Grand Quran, which is also the step 2 to learning to read the Quran, that is the joining of letters. I want you to understand that in Arabic, words are mostly written in cursive style. That is, letters are mostly written together in a word. Because of this, joined letters are written in 4 different fonts, depending on their location or position in a word. That is, the independent, the initial, the medial, and the final position. But before we carefully look at each letter, for you to have sound knowledge of the joining of letters, let me give you a good example of how letters are joined together in a word. Now look at this. This is an Arabic word. We have about 4 letters in this word. This a letter, this another letter, this another letter, and this another letter. So that is a good example of how letters are joined together in a word. Now, let's carefully look at each letter in terms of the joining. This letter ba, we are going to take it from ba. This letter ba, when it is independent, as you have known it, coming to the initial position of ba, that is at the beginning of joining, this ba looks like you have the curve and then 1 dot on there. You can see that we are still maintaining the 1 dot on there for letter ba. 1 dot on there, you still maintain the dot. This bar at the beginning of joining, and this is a connector, that is, the bar is trying to connect to another letter. Coming to the medial position of bar, this is it. This is a connector, and this bar in the middle, letter bar, and bar is trying to connect to another letter. Then coming to the final or the end of joining, you have your full bar. This is a connector connecting to the bar, and this is the bar at the end of joining. The next letter is ta. Ta, letter ta. Coming to ta at the beginning of joining, this is how it will look like. This is a ta, and it's trying to connect. It's trying to connect to another letter. That's ta at the beginning of joining. Coming to the medial position. This is it. This is a connector, connecting to ta. This is the ta in the middle, and ta is trying to connect to another letter. Coming to the final position, this is how you have your ta. You have your ta, your full ta back. This is a connector connecting to ta, and this is ta. And then you can also have your ta like this at the end. We call this kind of ta a connected round ta. You can see it is still maintaining the two dots. Or you also have your ta like this. This unconnected round ta. You can also have it at the end of joining like this. Now let's go for tha. Tha, letter tha. This is it when it is independent, as you have known it. Coming to the beginning of joining, you have your tha like this. This tha, and it's trying to connect to another letter. Coming to the middle, the medial position, this is a connector connecting to it, and this is the tha in the middle, and the tha is trying to connect to another letter. Coming to the final position, this is a connector connecting to the tha, and you have your full tha at the end, like this. The next letter is jim. Letter jim. This is jim when it is independent, as you have known it. Now, coming to the beginning of joining for jim, this is how it will look like. This jim at the beginning of joining. How do we arrive at this? Is by cutting this place off like this. So this edge is what is used at the beginning of joining. Then the dot will now be here. It will now become this. So that is jim at the beginning of joining. Coming to the middle, you have your jim like this. This is a connector connecting to it, and you have your jim just like the jim at the beginning. Then coming to the end, the final position, this is a connector connecting to it. You have your full jim back, and this is a connector connecting to it. You have your full jim at the end. Now coming to ha, letter ha. This letter ha, as you have known it, when it is independent. So at the beginning of joining, you have your ha like this. So it is also gotten by cutting the edge, just like as we have done for jim. Is the edge that will be needed. So all this one will go, all this one. So that's how ha at the beginning of joining is formed. Then coming to the middle, this is a connector connecting to it, and we have ha. You are still using the head in the middle. This is a connector connecting to it, and you have your ha. Then at the end of joining, you have your full ha. This is a connector connecting to it, and then you have your full ha back. Then the next letter is kho. Kho, letter kho. That is with one dot on top. So when it is independent, that is kho. Coming to the beginning of joining, that is the initial position, you have your kho. How is this one formed? Is by cutting the edge, as we have done for jim and kho. So That's how we arrive at hull like this. At the beginning of joining, you can see that we are still maintaining the one dot on top. Then coming to the medial position, the middle, this is a connector connecting to it, and you have your hull. We are still using the edge, and then you are still maintaining your one dot on top. That's hull in the middle. Then coming to the end, the final position, you now have your hull in full back. This is a connector, and then you have your hull, your full hull back.